Hi, I'm Olga and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm inviting you to a bowl of squash soup. Freshly made, steaming. Right now it's fall and the stores are selling all kinds of varieties of squash. I love squash because it's one of those gut-friendly vegetables that almost nobody has any allergy to it. It's delicious. It has so many variations that the way you can make it. And today I made the puree soup, and I want to show you how I make it. There are so many different varieties of squashes in the stores. Everything from spaghetti squash that you can literally replace spaghetti with, to different delicata squashes that you can eat even with the skin. You can make like French fries with it, to butternut squashes that are full of carotenoids and other vitamins that are good and healthy for you. Most importantly, if you're on a diet like me where you have to avoid grains and legumes, and these are the foods that are starchy foods that feed your microbiome, you need to find something to replace them with. And I found that a squash is actually excellent, do an excellent job. They're very gut friendly. They do an excellent job replacing potatoes, legumes and grains. So add more of them to your diet and you're gonna notice the benefits, especially if you eat them with foods that introduce good gut bacteria like homemade yogurts, kefirs and pickled vegetables. So here is the ingredients I'm going to be using today in my butternut squash soup puree. So obviously a butternut squash. I use the organic one, but it doesn't matter. It's not on a dirty dozen list. Then we're gonna need onion and garlic to saute, and a little bit of olive oil, just a drop of it. We're gonna need I use low sodium vegetable broth. Then we're gonna salt it and add some umami flavor with the organic soy sauce. And I'm gonna add a little bit of miso paste. This is my new favorite one. I feel like it really goes well with a lot of soups. And I'm gonna add Italian spices and a little bit of organic no salt seasoning. But spices is up to you, whatever is your favorite ones, that's what you should use. And for the equipment, you need an oven or a toaster oven would work too. You need some kind of baking sheet. I cover mine with parchment paper so I don't have to clean it after. You need a soup pot. I use cast iron one, and you need a big strong knife to cut that pumpkin, squash. I'm going to preheat the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. I forgot to look it up how much it is in Celsius, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. 425. I use convection bake. That means that there will be a fan running in the oven. First thing to do is to cut this into pieces that you can bake it. I do not peel the squash because it's too hard, takes too much time. I bake it with the skin, but I do cut it into pieces so it's easy, and then it's very easy once it's cooled down to remove the skins from it. So this is what we're going to do. And one of those rare times when I'm actually using gloves in the kitchen when I'm cooking is dealing with any squash. Squashes, once you cut them, they start releasing something very sticky and it feels very gross on the hands and it's very hard to wash off. So this is one of those times when I am using gloves. You can use disposable gloves, but these are my cooking gloves. All right, so I start at the bottom. They are very wood hard to cut, so you need a good surface under and you need a big knife, and you have to be obviously very careful. Right, not so bad. I probably look so funny and ridiculous doing this. All right, now we can just break it. There you go. I'm going to scoop out the seeds on the plate. Sometimes I do it right over the garbage can. So I'm gonna, all this stringy stuff can go. See, it's messy, but it's not even the mess that I'm scared of on my hands, but this stuff that you see, the juice that is coming out, it becomes very sticky. I even feel it on the gloves already. So be careful when you're dealing with pumpkin, because, or any kind of squashes, pumpkins, same thing, they all do that. So I cut it in half. I remove the seeds. This part in the pumpkin is fine. It's gonna bake and blend in the soup. You don't have to bother too much, as long as you don't have the seeds. But now this, if I bake it like this, I can technically, but it will take longer time. So I'm gonna split it into quarters. This way it will bake faster. Now I'm going to put everything on the cookie sheet to get ready for baking. I don't know how long it will take to bake it. I'm estimating about 25 minutes. I just wanted to mention that this cooking the squash, it's better to do it ahead of time. You can even do it from the night before, from the day before, and keep squash in the refrigerator after, and then it's going to be very easy and quickly to put together the soup. I'm putting it on a low rack, and I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes. And after that, I'm gonna check on it and see if it needs more time. All right, the timer went on, and these things are still hard. So I'm definitely gonna give them another 5 minutes, but I have a feeling it's gonna be even more than that. I grossly underestimated how long it will take to cook this squash. I'm already at 40 minutes, and I think I'm gonna give it another 5 minutes. It's already soft, but I want it to be even a little bit softer. Finally, 45 minutes later, forget about those 20 minutes I was saying in the beginning. I need 2 hands. All right, this is hot, but you see when they're cooked, they need to be kind of having a little browning on the outside, and they are soft all the way through. The fork goes in effortlessly. Now I'm gonna let them cool down and then continue cooking my soup. See? Now that my squash is fully cooled down and stuff, I'm gonna start making the soup. As I told you, the squash can be cooked ahead of time, even a day or 2 of time. It doesn't matter. And then you can just put together fresh soup. So we're gonna start with cutting the veggies, but first I wanna start the pot. I'm gonna start the pot on medium high to warm up. I already peeled the garlic before, just didn't want to make the mess, but I need to cut the onion. I'm gonna use less than half of this onion. This is actually sweet onion. I split it in half. I remove the skin. Half an onion is fine, or as much as you like. At least a quarter of an onion, I would say you should use. I'm also gonna add some olive oil. You can use any cooking oil. You can use a little bit of butter, just a little bit, like maybe a teaspoon, to make about that. I'm being very stingy with the fats recently. I think that's the way to go. We do need some fats in the body in our diets, but not that much of it. I'm going to actually put it a little bit higher to speed up the process. Putting the onion in there. Garlic, I'm going to use 2 big cloves. It's going to be like about half of the head of garlic. While onion and garlic are sauteing, I'm I'm going to remove the skins from this squash. Let me take a small knife, but you see it's coming off really easy. The skin now. I thought it would be easier with a spoon, but a knife works better here. But look, it comes off very easy. I'm gonna cut it in slices, in little chunks, so they're gonna be easier to blend once we add it to the soup. When onion and garlic look like this, they have browning edges and stuff, I'm going to add vegetable broth. Now it's all peeled. I have a full plate of it. I'm gonna add it directly to the pot. Have to be careful, everything is boiling there. I may have to add a little bit more broth. We'll see. So I just added the squash pieces into the broth, and I'm gonna let them, I'm gonna cover them and let them cook a little bit together. But I think I'm gonna have to add a little bit more broth. I want them to be a little bit more covered. So I took out a new package of vegetable broth. I will shake it when it's brand new, and I'm gonna add maybe about a quarter of a packet. I want this to be about covered about half of my pot here. Now, very simple, I'm going to add a tablespoon of soy sauce. Soy sauce gives it a nice umami flavor. You can always add a little bit more if it's not salty enough, but it's better to not overdo it. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of white miso paste. It's a 1.5 teaspoon. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of Italian seasoning. I just shake it in there. Some herbs and a little bit of this seasoning. It's a blend of seasonings that has everything here from garlic powder to peppers, different peppers, onion powder. I do it to taste. I do not measure. Everything is pretty much cooked here. We just want the flavors to blend in. Then we're gonna have to use a hand blender or a potato masher to mix it. This is what it looks like. I love this orange color. I feel like healthy just looking at it. The more orange the color is, the more intense orange, the healthier it is, especially for your eyes. I'm gonna let it saute now under the cover. I'm gonna keep it on medium high for now, but then once it starts boiling, I'm gonna lower it and just let it simmer for about 10 minutes. I hear it boiling. Once it comes to a boil like this, I'm going to lower the stove to about 3. So it's like on low. I'm gonna stir it up, so because sometimes when it's boiling hard, it can get stuck to the bottom of the pot. Alright, that's enough for it. I'm gonna shut it off, but I'm not gonna blend it right away because it's boiling hard and it's just dangerous. So I'm gonna remove it from this heat and let it cool down. I may even open it just to let it cool down faster. You have to be very careful because this is very hot here. While the soup is cooling down, before I can blend it, I'm going to show you a few options. What can you eat it with? So to keep the soup vegetarian, but to add some protein to it, I think the best option is to add some tofu. I'm going to saute some tofu and eat it with it today. Another vegetarian option, it will not give you as much protein, but is to add some pumpkin seeds to it, but it tastes really good. It will give some bite to your soup, and it's a good addition to that soup. Another option is to add some turkey. This is what my children will have today for. they don't care for tofu so much, but they will have, this is ground turkey that I cooked last night for a different dish. I have some leftover. It's just sauteed turkey with some seasoning in it, and I'm gonna add a few spoons into their soup, and that's how they're gonna eat it, and they will like it that way. And another way to add some protein to your soup, if you want to keep it creamy and make it actually taste creamy but have some protein, is to add half a cup to 1 cup of cottage cheese to it before blending it, and then you blend everything together, and it's going to change a little bit the color. It's going to be whitish, and it's going to be more like creamy, and will be good protein addition to your soup. Option A to mash the soup is just to mash with the potato masher, which everything is soft there. Of course, it's not going to get as blended as it would be with if you use a blender, but it will mash everything. You're still gonna see pieces of onion and garlic in there. You can do it like this. I actually like it this way because I like my soups to be less blended, but my family prefers it more creamy like, so I'm gonna use a blender. I'm gonna show you. Because it's hot, I'm gonna keep the towel close to me because it may splatter a little bit, and I'm gonna use the blender. Most importantly, when you press the button, the blender needs to be inside, and do not raise it up while it's running, because that's how you're gonna splatter hot liquid on yourself. So be careful with that. Our squash puree soup is ready. It's hot and simmering, and this is the texture that I made it. You can blend it a little bit more or a little bit less. It's completely up to you. It is full of flavor from all the things that we added to it, and full of vitamins. To make the tofu, I'm going to preheat a pan, frying pan, and add just a little bit of olive oil in it, about a teaspoon. Okay, while it's warming up, I'm gonna actually put it on a little bit higher. I'm gonna cut tofu into very small cubes. I use firm tofu. Tofu is like cheese, but made out of soy milk instead of cow's milk. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat animal products, dairy, meats, but I do try to keep my diet plant-based as much as possible, and I do have some days when I stick to on like meatless days, or avoiding eggs and meat, and just tofu is great on those days, right? So you see they're like tiny little cubes like this. I'm going to sprinkle this tofu with a little bit of garlic powder. Once the oil started to heat up, I'm gonna add tofu to the plate, to the pan. Now the same like I did with the soup, I'm gonna add a little bit of this white miso, just to add some flavor to it, and a little bit of soy sauce. I eyeball everything, as you can see. That will give it some saltiness. This takes literally a few minutes. We just want the liquids to evaporate, and to add a little bit of crunch to it, I'm gonna add some toasted sesame seeds. My children like this recipe actually of tofu. I'm sure there will be takers for this one too. And I'm just gonna let it cook so the edges will brown a little bit on the tofu. So you see it started to brown really fast. It's actually better not to stir it too frequently. Allow the tofu get a little bit of crust on the outside. Once it started to look brown like this, I'm gonna remove it from the heat. That's good. So this is how I'm gonna eat my squash soup today, with my sautéed tofu with sesame seeds. It's very perfect meal for if you are vegan, if you are vegetarian, or you're just having a meatless day. Perfect. So I'm having my soup here with tofu and some of my pickled veggies. I have the recipe already on YouTube, and some salad on the side.